and welcome to another Purveyor of Light Photoshop Quick Tip. Today we've got a user-submitted question, and the user was having difficulty taking a 2D object and placing it on a 3D object. And so I said, okay, we can see what we can do here. He wanted the quickest and dirtiest way to get it accomplished. So I said, okay, we can do that. So I've got my three-dimensional object here as an aluminum can. And I selected this fine Diet Coke. Well, I can't say Diet Coke. That's a violation of copyright. Diet Soda. So, and we're going to take this 2D object and place it on the 3D. So, first thing is we need to get this can isolated off the background, okay? Because we need to have that as an object. So, let's go ahead and see what we can do. We'll go select and mask. And that brings us in here. And make sure your opacity is at, around 50%. Don't go to 100. You won't be able to see what you're doing. So just have it so that you can actually see where the highlight starts in that. I'm going to use the object selection tool. Okay. And I'm just going to draw a rectangle out over the can. And we'll see how it does. And it looks like it did a really nice job. All right, a little rough on the edges. Let me see here. I'm going to put us nice and tight so I can really see what's going on now. It's not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm going to do just some fine touches here. I'm going to give it a little bit of smoothing. And I'm going to shift the edge in. Let's zoom in so I can see the edge, because the edge is just off it. I'm going to shift the edge in. And I think that's pretty good. All right. So now it should be a pretty clean selection of the can. We will now come down for the output, and we want to output this to a new layer with a layer mask. If you don't see that, just pull down on the drop down and select new layer with layer mask and hit OK. And now you see that Photoshop has generated a new layer with a mask on it for us, and we're ready to continue on. Okay, so now that we've got our layer, I want to turn around and duplicate this layer. Okay, so Command or Control J to make a duplicate layer, and now we have two of them. Okay, and we'll go back and take our 2D object, and using the Move tool, we will click and drag and drop it into our soda can. Okay, so now we've got to turn around and somehow get this thing to wrap around a 3D object and make it look believable. And the viewer wanted this as quick and easily as possible, okay? And I understand that, so we're going to take a very easy, it's not the best method, but it's the easiest method, okay? So, Command or Control T, and now we're going to just reposition this guy, angling it with the can, okay? And we will size it up, of course. And I think we're pretty good there. Okay? Doesn't have to be perfect, but we get the idea. Okay, so we hit enter and we place it there. Now, we're going to use a little bit of Photoshop magic, and we're going to turn around and change and do a clipping mask. A clipping mask, since this is above the can, okay, if I tell it to use a clipping mask, all right, it's going to conform to the shape of the can. So, in between, the line in between, I'm going to just hold the Alt or Option key, and you'll notice how it changes to a little down arrow, okay, a black arrow with a square box. That means it's a clipping mask. So you just click, and look at that. we now have the label applied. Now, it's flat, okay, and I know that's flat, and it's all part of the process. But we have it now on the 3D, restrained by the 3D object. So now we need to just turn around and do some minor adjustments on making it wrap a little bit better. So to do that, Command and Control T, which is free transform, and once the handlebar's on, you just right click inside there, and now we can go into warp. Okay, we do warp, and then now that just lets us coax this label a little bit better to where we want it to fit. And you just pull it in, and of course you would do a much better job than me because I'm not taking my time, but you get the idea. Okay, so there we go. We've got the label on there, and we're fitting on, and we're happy with the placement. So the next thing is I need to make it believable that it's wrapping around a 3D object. Well, that's easy enough. We're going to take our bottom layer here of the can, and we're going to throw that right up top. Okay, so now we're back with the basic can again. And now, with the magic of Photoshop, come up to the blend mode, okay? And I want you to select linear burn. And there you go. We now have a 3D label on a 2D product. So, and you can change the opacity. If it's a little too strong for you, you can always change it. That's completely up to you. Okay? Let you dial it in. But there you go. That's the simplest way that you can place a 2D object on a 3D object. So, all right, guys. Take care. Till next week. I'll see you.